Hi, welcome back. I'm Mary Jo, also known as Sojo, and this is my channel where I talk about all my quilty stitchy things. And today is June 29th, 2025. This is my weekly update, number 112, where I talk about everything I worked on and completed throughout the week. So, I finished a quilt top, and it's behind me. This is from Free Spirit. This is the new Bedford Quilt pattern. Now, when I printed this off, this was a free pattern, or when I downloaded it was a free pattern from Free Spirits. However, I haven't been able to find it since. But this is from Denise Schmidt. Now this is 72 by 90, and it's behind me. So we'll go see if we can't take a closer look at everything. So I'm working my way from the top down to the bottom. Now this is something that's been in my stash for a while. That's just been waiting for me to complete. And we finally did, or I finally did. Now, like I said, it was years ago when I started pulling all these fabrics together. And I think when I started with that border fabric, and then I pulled these fabrics in according to what was in that border fabric. And I do got some wrinkles and folds down the middle from where it was folded. But there's looking at the bottom. Another quilt top finish. Just needs to be pressed and sent to long arm. So I will get that quilted on the long arm sometime. I just don't know where. I will have to get some backing for it. Now, this was a quilt kit that I had from my Rediscovering My Stash series that I had shown back in the fall, where some people, where I had people tell me which ones they wanted me to finish sooner rather than later, and this was one of them. But now it's finished. So, and even though I say it's a kit, I didn't buy it as a kit. It was just yardage that I had that I put together. So, but it's all finished now. What else did I work on? Well, I did month 6 for the Sew and Love block of the month from Aditya Sitar that once again I had bought several years ago, and I'm just finishing, or just starting on, I guess, this year. Trying to see what the dimensions are, if I can find them real quick. I think this is 75.5 by 75.5 when it's all finished. So I did month 6, and this is month 6, and there's 8 of these. So I did month 6, and I went and showed you the other blocks last week. So I'm caught up just in time, because I started that in January, and I plan on doing a block a month, and there's 10 months. So this month I did block 5 and 6 because I got a little behind. Now I also worked on the Flower Shop block of the month. Now this is going to be 76 by 76 when it's done, and this is from My So Quilty Life. Now last week I had shown you this. Now this was block 5 and this was block 6, but I did my block or month a little bit different in that I just did these since they were the same, and then this week I ended up doing this and that and put them together. So I have both 5 and 6 to show you. So that's block 5. And this is block 6. That's all done. Now I believe there's 12 blocks with this. Now when she did this, she had combined basically months and did 2 blocks every month, where I just was like, I'm just going to do a block a month for 12 blocks. And then put it all together at the end. So I worked on that. And I worked on a few other things. Let me grab them. So I also worked on this Forest Fungi quilt. Now I had finished making all the leaves, all the mushrooms, and started sewing it together. And And well, when I was sewing it in together, I discovered I made a little boo-boo. These leaves, as you can see, right here we have the stem and the little veins coming off that were a different fabric. Well, I discovered that my veins were a different color, but the stems were the same color as the fabric that was in it, and it didn't look quite right. At first I was going to leave it, and I decided, nope, I'm going to tear it all out. So I tore it all out and I fixed it. But I'd already started assembling them into the different sections because it's broken down into 4 sections. This over here is number 4. This will be number 4. And then this is number 1, number 2, and number 3. So I have all those sections sewn together, and I've got them pinned. The section 1, section 2, section 3 pinned. So then after I sew those, I can add the section 4, and then just add borders, and hopefully it's done. All right. So here's that main piece. Like I said, this is section 1, section 2, and section 3. So that is that. And say I've got my pins in there to pin all those. And then I'll show you section 4. Let me kind of fold this up here a little bit real quick. And this is this long section 4, which we added to the side once I get section 1, 2, and 3 all together. There we go. Although this veins and leaves are kind of hard to see, but yes, I had that stem the same color as all that on all of these leaves. But I fixed it. And as far as sewing and quilting goes, I worked on one other project. Let me get it. So I cut out all the pieces to this grand finale quilt from Lila Boutique. Now, this quilt is done in her Old Glory fabric line. Now, I didn't have this Old Glory fabric line, so I had bought some other fabrics from a different line, and those you can go back and look in a video. It was from Creative Fires haul. I had bought some fabrics in there because they were having a sale on their patriotic fabrics at the time on Memorial Day. So I'm not going to pull much out, but as you can see, it's all cut, a lot of different pieces in there, ready to go. But I did cut that and start pinning a few things together. So I did that, and I think that is everything that I worked on as far as sewing and quilting goes. Let's move on to cross stitch. I fully finished some of my cross stitch pieces. Now these were the Simply Sayings that I was doing. So this was for July. My heart beats true for the red, white, and blue. And this is August. Summer is a state of mind. And those will be put on my little shelf here. Take my little birthday parade off here. This is for June. I can take that off. And then I can put my July there. And then I'll put my little birthday parade back up there since we're still in birthday season. Everybody in my household has a birthday during those warmer months. So we're just going to put the whole birthday parade back up there. And then in August, that'll be August. So, my nose is itching. So there's July. If I can't center it a little better. And then I can put some of the birthday figurines back up there, because July is my daughter's birthday month. And there we go. So I'll put it back up there. Now I am still working on this cross stitch from Hands On Designs, Rose Cottage. It has 2 separate pieces, the summer and then the house. Now I am doing this on 14 count chalkboard black, and I work 1 color at a time, so I do all of the white just because that was the first color, and then I'll start adding in. I am almost done with the white. I can start adding some color. Just have this little bit right there to finish. And the summer is still the same, no more progress. Like I said, just because I'm finished using all of that white or the 3865 DMC before we move on. So that's where I am with that. Now my crochet, amigurumi crochet here, which I've been working on this Woobles book. This Woobles crochet amigurumi for every occasion. So I've already done all the birthday sections, and let me get to it. And then I finished all the engagement section. So I finished the otters this week. Let me show you those, because I do plan on doing most everything in here. So there's a look at the otters. Those are Skipper and Boom. And here they are. Those are my otters. Now these Woobles, this book I actually think was pretty reasonably priced. Those kits that include everything are pretty pricey, and I do think they're overpriced. I had bought some because when Joann's was going out of business, they had them marked down really low. But this book I think was just over $20 off Amazon, so I do think that's a good deal when those kits are $30, $40 and up. I also made Cornelius the bee. That's my bee. There's the look at their bee. Now the bee comes from the baby shower section, and I'm working on the stork here in a minute. I'll show you that. Now this over here, they have like an immobile. I won't be doing a mobile. I'll just be doing the actual little characters. This little frog thing that was supposed to be like a baby toy, yeah, I'm not doing that either. I don't have babies. Let's see, but I do like the little figurines. This is Urkel Philibert, the stork. Which, like I said, I'm working on that. I'll show you where I am in a second. Here we are. I got the body and the nose done, or the beak. That's about as far as I've got on that. Alright, one other thing that I worked on. So I started on a new little small diamond painting. There's a little picture of what it's supposed to look like when it's done. Here's what mine's looking like. It's about 2/3 of the way done. Now this is a smaller diamond painting, so it's not going to show up near the detail that the bigger ones do. Plus it's from a less expensive company, I guess you could say. So it's not always the most, it isn't the best quality to begin with, but that's okay. It's just something for me to do. So, like I said, I'm about 2/3 of the way done with that. All right, so that's everything I've worked on this week. Now for this coming week, I do plan on doing, let me get it, block 3 of the flowering sew along from the sew sampler. This is what the block is, Stop and Smell the Roses blocks. Now since I'm using my own fabric, it's not going to be red, but mine's going to be more of this orangey peach corally color. So that's going to be my color palette and then my background. So I do plan on getting this done this week, and then I'll make a video and post it when it happens. Okay, till next time.